Log recording. It's about 1:28 in the morning. It's July 11th, 2022. It's Monday. Well, I suppose I could talk about the other financial situation I got to deal with. The schmucks are theoretically helping me out. I got this a few days ago from the Franchise Tax Board. Yeah, a lot of people don't like dealing with the franchise, nor are they dealing with the IRS. However, some paperwork that the company is supposed to be helping me with screwed up on. So now I gotta find out what the hell's going on. So we'll see what happens today or tomorrow. Other than that, trying to sleep, and I can't sleep. It's not because of the neighbors. They quieted down, thank God. I think they would shut up until about 11 o'clock or midnight. They could just. That's neighbors for you, anyway. And it was quiet, thank God for that one. And I decided I'd stay up for a little bit, try to watch some YouTube, and instead of watching some political extremist crap going left and right, didn't want to deal with that one. I sure as hell didn't want to disturb my neighbors concerning about my own grief activities. I decided to stay up and just see what there's interesting, maybe for cruise ships or travel packages or cooking. Right, so this channel deals with grief. This channel deals with a lot of issues that I have, and when I'm actually lucid enough, I can actually check on things and actually learn about things I need to do. Now, I'll tell you something about grieving. There's no simple process. There's no complicated process. It just is. And I noticed that when I'd gone into this new era of living here, of my own mental health going crazy, I discovered that there's a lot of things I need to do for myself that I don't understand. Let's get this off here. Starting to irritate me. No, the thing is, concerning about cooking, survival. When I was on this normal survival route of growing up as a kid, you still had to live, you still had to go to school, you still be tormented by the mother and the brother. Okay, fine, that's what happens. You still got your chores to do, you still got living to do, you got cooking to do. You gotta learn how to cook. Not a short order cook, but just a cook anyway, just cooking in your home, just for stuff so you can survive on. And for years, hanging around with my big brother and then doing things on my own when he wasn't around and working with Ma, I was actually able to cook and live. I'd cook dishes. I'd cook normal, standard dishes, exotic dishes. Scratching your heads on that one, aren't you? What would be considered standard? Okay, sample of a day's menu. Okay, try this one. Let's say if I'm going to go to work, cereal. Don't laugh. Cooked cereal, oatmeal, not the instant shit, and cream of wheat, but also the cold stuff with the milk. Speaking of which, cold stuff, milk, lachaim, needed for the acid indigestion in the stomach. But there was also staying at home. There was bacon and eggs, learning how to do French toast, waffles, pancakes. No, I didn't graduate into crepes, nor did I graduate into omelets. I was trying to keep things simple, not to mention scrambled eggs. There's a lot of things you can throw in scrambled eggs and make them edible. I discovered that a long time ago. The lunches, sandwiches, whatever you can throw together between two pieces of bread, or grill them up. Sub sandwiches, we actually had the fixings for the damn thing. And if there was any leftover food from last night, or whatever you fixed last night over, you can heat that up. With a microwave is easier. Without a microwave, it's a pain in the ass. But the main course is down below. Actually, tacos, burritos, hamburgers, hot dogs, uh, spaghetti, casseroles. Love doing casseroles. Soups. Basic chicken and noodle, beef, chicken and dumpling. Huge pots to work with. Huge pots to work with. Fun thing to work with is huge pots. Braising the beef in there. Get your juices in there. And after you get your braising and juices in there, then you can add beef broth to the damn thing. And throw in your vegetables that you got. Canned, no, screw that. Fresh stuff. Fresh. Oh, yeah. Get a roux going. Get a good roux going, yeah. Or get a Rux. R-U-X, get a Rux. This flour combination. Flour and butter. Get a Rux going, put it in there, thicken it up to sauce. Oh, those are the days. Those are the days, my friend. Chicken and dumplings are the simplest ones of all to do. It depends on if you're doing it fresh or you get your rotisserie or whatever kind of form of chicken that you're going to be using at this point over here. But usually I'd use a fresh chicken to start off with. Take about 2.5, 3 hours, slow simmer. Get the slow simmer. Got to see the heat on the flame. I don't like electric. I prefer the gas. I always used gas. Gas was simpler to use, but expensive as hell to use. Oh God. Depending on how you're cooking and using the oven. Oh my God, I miss using an oven. Oh, there was a recipe over there called for chicken and rice. Get your chicken, get your rice going, and get 3 kinds of creams in there. Church recipe my family had. Got it from the church a long time ago. Banquets they would have. Get-togethers. Someone actually made up a cookbook. We got the cookbook. I got it buried around here somewhere, but it's got the recipe in it. But for a time back in 1970 and 1980s, those kind of measurements, but still modify them these days. Chicken, cream of chicken, mushroom, celery, and get milk to mix up the mess. And once you have that, this was the fun part. I mean, ovens, I was loving using the ovens because you could cook chicken, you could cook your beef, you could cook breads, bacon. You can cook a lot of things in an oven. A lot of things. Oh, I miss an oven. I miss a working oven. Anyway, this particular recipe had called for in one particular casserole dish that you would just scatter the rice around on the bed floorboard, get the liquid, the soups together, just layer that on, and whatever kind of chicken pieces you were going to be doing it on. Usually we had a baking dish to put this in there, a steel baking dish. Of course, we had to cover it up. We had to coat it right crazy. Butter, a lot of butter on the damn thing. Or you had Pam, you just nuked it, son of a bitch, with Pam. But man, 2 layers worth. Then put chicken on there and then layer it up with more soup. Slurp it all and shove it in there for about 350. Kick it in there, cover it actually. Had to cover this sucker. Cover it about 2 hours. Last hour, half hour, just brown it a bit without the cover. And then it came out. On the bottom of the pan, if it was cooked just right. Yeah, you do your scraping like crazy and you get the crusty stuff. But underneath the layers were juicy. And you had that with the chicken. Oh my God, we were going crazy over that stuff. Oh my God, we were going crazy over that stuff. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that I'd throw in a microwave and have a lunch or a midnight snack on it. God, were the days. When Ma died, we still retained whatever we could, whatever recipes we had, and however to fix it, me and my brother. And we still baked. We baked cookies. We had an oven that worked. It was a different place, different time. I get over here, and then we lose the oven a bit. Oh, stovetop cooking all the damn time and microwave things, but even that would survive with it. There was a survival pasta, we called it. Try this one. When you're going to food giveaways, yeah, don't joke about it. I mean, a lot of people go to food giveaways for their ingredients. You go to food giveaways, you get the pastas that they got. If they have the emergency cheese, get that too. And if they had the big blocks of Spam, use that too. If you had onions, keep them. Green onions work a hell of a lot better than the regular onions do, that's for sure. White onions are alright. Brown onions, man, they acid indigestion in the stomach. I prefer the white onions myself. And pasta cooked up, cheese sliced up, and either you slice them thinly or thickly to get your cubes. How much of an influence of Spam you want in your pasta. I mean, after you get your pasta water fixed and the pasta's cooked, and then you drain it and then take out as much pasta you need on your dish. Put some Spam, put some cheese on it, throw it in the microwave, melt it for about a minute or two. Cut it up real fine. That's what I did. That's what my brother and I did sometimes. When we were getting short in cash, we were grateful we had those kind of things coming in, or try to find those things that we can get. Any kind of cheese would have worked. Not the Velveeta shit, but any kind of cheese that we would work with. Spam was always the fallback. And pasta. Because that would have fed us about 2 or 3, maybe 4 days, depending on how much we got or get. So we had to keep going to food giveaways on some occasions. Social Security wouldn't be paying enough for the damn rent, so we might as well go to food giveaways and get as much as we could. And we get the emergency milk in the cartons like crazy. Keep it in the fridge. Keep it in the fridge for a bit, and you have regular milk, low fat, but tasty enough. Different cereals from different places that would donate that you'd never get, but you didn't argue about it. You didn't argue about the stuff that you got. You'd be grateful for the grub. You'd be grateful for everyone else's grub. You just be grateful for the stuff. But how you fixed the stuff together is a different story altogether. Whatever kind of ingredients that you're able to scrape up, that's what your food was. Dave and I, well, he turned all the cooking things over to me because he got older and more infirmed, and he couldn't do he couldn't do anything else these days. So I had to do all the work. Housework, cooking, gathering, uh, caregiver stuff. Rice-A-Roni, you could fix a lot of stuff in it. Rice-A-Roni is basically rice and vermilion. With this, it doesn't matter what kind of flavor it is. They still use the same type of stuff, except for maybe a few other ounces that maybe like pasta-roni. It's a different story altogether on that one. But just basic rice-a-roni flavors. The flavors are all in the packets. See, if you wanted a fried meal of rice, you could do that. Uh, get yourself some chicken bouillon cubes or powders like that. Or even worse. Worse. Ramen noodles. Now in the packets they have the flavors in them. Beef and chicken. For survival, for absolute survival, don't gag. Just chow it down. You can put 2 or 3 packages in there, just one flavor packet dumped in there in the water. Throw in whatever kind of vegetables or whatever kind of meat that you got in your dish or in the pot, and you're fixing your food. Survival. My brother taught me that one too a long time ago. He taught me a lot of things. When he was on the streets, he had to learn real fast what he could use, what he couldn't use. He was a great teacher. He taught me a lot about cooking. Hell, he even taught me how to cook a turkey. Chicken right as well. Poultry, meats. Besides dealing with the processed crap, we were dealing with cooking of stuff like ribs. Only ribs we kept cooking outside, not inside. Or we'd use them in the oven with barbecue sauce. Kept layering the barbecue sauce over them until they got crusted over. We tried the crock pot cooking when it came down for soups and stews, but that's about it. We didn't go any further on the damn thing. At least not that I remember that he would be able to cook a chicken in there. But we tried once. Didn't work it out. We didn't know what the hell we were doing on the damn thing. One of the older crock pots we had, we tried to do the chicken and rice dish on the damn thing. We damn near killed ourselves. Went for a pizza instead. I discovered how to do it correctly this time. And this time I was thinking, okay, parboil the chicken, put it in there. And then well, that's that nice. Somebody's starting to do fireworks at this late in the morning. Great. No, there was a way for me to doing this thing. Just parboil the chicken, throw it in the crock pot. Then you'd be layering the rice and the stuff. It all depends on how size of a crock pot you got. I think I got the smallest size just for me. I should have got the largest size just for me, because I always could use the leftovers for other things. I gotta check on that price just in case. But I'd seen how people could throw in huge racks of ribs and They'd throw in beef, they'd throw in pork, they'd throw in a huge chicken in there. My brother was watching the cooking channels as well, trying to keep himself apprised of what people were cooking, what he was drooling over. I wish we had practiced some of that stuff he was watching. Man, it would have been delicious. Now you're probably asking, how come I don't do that? How come I'm not doing that at this point? Well, I'm trying to do it right now as it is. Understanding and learning a little bit more. Grief takes a hell of a lot out of you. I know my brother was grieving for Mom like crazy, but his mental facilities were going south. I mean, it just crash and burn at this point. He loved Ma. He was the firstborn. My brother was firstborn. So whatever mistakes he was making, I was sure as hell not to make them. No, I made different ones that drove Ma crazy. That's about it. But he also became responsible. There was a lot of things in his past he wasn't exactly happy with, and neither was Ma. A lot of things that weren't talked about as much. Growing up, there are certain things in life you just don't talk about. But he learned a lot of things. He was also trying to teach me how to defend myself. We also watched each other's backs growing up a little bit. He came out of the military, and there was different things altogether that happened to him that I didn't recognize. Neither did Ma. He did things unpleasant. Threw him out of the house. Long story. Tell you about that one of these here days, or maybe it's still buried in the video somewhere in the earlier archives. It comes back as a skeleton, and we had to nurse his ass back to health, take him over to AA meetings. And when he came back, he was a real mess. I didn't know who the hell he was. I had a lot of anger issues over this guy. I didn't like him. I didn't know who he was anymore. It wasn't my big brother. The Navy did something to him, but also other things related to the Navy that also contributed to it, that he had drug and alcohol problems. Got out about 83, 84, I think. And theoretically, I mean, once you're out, you're never completely out of the military. They still drag your ass back in one way or another. So my brother comes home mixed up in everything else going on inside of him. That has taken him decades to get himself to the point where he was trying to get himself. He was trying to find himself. He could be comfortable with himself. Medications weren't exactly helping him much concerning about his PTSD. And the other stuff he had to keep talking to shrinks about. But I can tell you that when he passed away in 2018, he had 32 years clean and sober. It just tore my world apart when I saw him dead. Emergency room. He's wheeled in as a corpse, almost like a meat sickle or something like that. A side of beef. I didn't want to see his face. I yelled and screamed at him. What the hell was I going to be doing with the rest of my life if I can't even have him in my life? Maybe I depended upon him too damn much. I think I did. Well, too much about my brother. So, my world fell apart. I fell apart and I didn't know how to function. I was struggling to survive, trying to keep a roof over the head, bed bugs out of here, and school classes coming up, back in the academia again. It was just a hard time. I had a few good years in college when my brother passed away. And he saw how well I was trying to do it. About 3 or 4 years. He was damn proud. He kept telling me Ma would be proud. I kept thinking Ma would be kicking my ass at this point over here, probably telling me, why didn't you do this earlier? Well, I could tell her now, as perspective and context. She'll scratch her head on that one. I said, Ma, I wasn't mature enough and I wasn't ready for the college. I had to grow up. I wasn't allowed to grow up. I was shoved to another college over here, another school over here to learn more things, but I wasn't allowed to grow up. And maybe I needed the work ethics to kick my ass one way or another. Yeah, I wanted to go back to college and finish this shit up, please you, but also please myself. But I wasn't mature enough. I wasn't ready for this shit, and I had to keep working. And I put the school thing aside, and I had to keep working because I knew what was needed for our family. I mean, hell, I may or may not go back to college again, I kept thinking to myself. But the work still needs to be done, and we need money. We need to keep the roof over the head. We need to get food. We need the bills paid. We need. I have to keep busting it. David had to keep busking it until he was no longer able to do it in certain sections. But still, Johnny boy had to be doing it and all. Ma was losing it. She couldn't do her jobs anymore. She couldn't do her business. Bookkeeping, income tax. For 20 some odd years or more than that, she had clients. We had friends. We have somewhat of a family. And then she couldn't do it anymore and they left. And she got more and more depressed. Losing people in your life changes you a great deal, that you lose a lot more people than you realize. Besides your siblings being turned into crematoria, into ashes, or even places to bury you. I mean, you lose other family and friends like crazy. Some people may not. They may still have them. That's great on them. But for my family, disappeared. Other people just disappeared in our lives. I had to struggle. To this day, I still struggle. I still have a few family and few friends that still talk to me, that still deal with me in the grieving. They also grieve because they also lost. But they're still struggling like crazy to not give in to the absolute mourning and grieving process. They're on survival mode and they're trying to live as best as they can. Kudos to them. For me, on the other hand, I didn't live separate lives, so maybe I didn't have that perspective. All I knew is I lived with my mother 24/7. I didn't have a father, I had a brother, almost 24/7 as well. And you take away that support, you take away that family, you take away everything else that they meant to me. And maybe you understand a little bit better why I was going thermonuclear, or just plain out depressed as hell and not caring about what happens to me. When a simple chore can turn into a nightmare, you know there's something problem. You know there's a problem right there. Keeping a house clean is no simple task. Keeping a kitchen cleaned up so you don't get bugs in the damn thing is even worse. Trying to keep yourself clean. Well, that's 4 or 5, maybe 6 days before showers. That doesn't smell too good either. Or laundry's even worse. I'm not going to say anything about that one. Taking care of a dog is a daily thing I have to keep doing. Taking her out, let her make sure that she goes outside instead of doing stuff in here. Otherwise, I'd be stuck dealing with that crap, literally. And peeing as well, also literally. Just keeping myself maintained is another story altogether. I keep asking myself, what the fuck am I going to eat? What's my menu option? What am I going to do? From a guy who knew how to cook, what menus options to have, ingredients, everything else organized, to what the fuck do I do now? Here's the difference. Now, you think I got it together and I'll be able to figure this shit out. But trust me, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. It's never been that easy for me. I've been struggling. I've been managing or mismanaging half the time anyway. Some of those recipes I told you about, very few of them I'm able to accomplish right now as it is to keep me going. Well, I know I'm a fat boy right now as it is, but still, that's inactivity. Drinking a lot of sugary drinks as well. Well, you got powdered teas with flavor in them. You got Gatorade. You got Tang. Add water, there's the drinks. Milk. I drink a lot of milk. Helps with the bones and stuff. Also adds more fat than I need. I drink a lot of water. My bladder hates me. The pasta I'd get cans of Spam and whatever kind of cheeses I can scramble, I can throw together and then fix a meal out of it. Or better yet, if I'm going to be spending money on myself, I'd get me some microwavable meals and try that shit. The cans all the way up to the Hormel packages. They're disgusting. Or if I really had the money for it, and I'd get bored as hell, but even bored as hell with the menu options either. It's fast food. And in this particular town, it's not that much of a leap. It's not that much of a leap for boredom. You got Taco Bell, and you got McDonald's, and you got Mexican fast food joint. About 3 or 4 restaurants that don't do deliveries. You have to go over to them and get their food yourself. And then you got a Sister Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, a restaurant called Tom's. Then in order to get the food, now we got DoorDash. I can have some stuff delivered from Albertsons. Of course, it cost me an arm and a leg and then some. Or I'd go over to locate a couple of restaurants and order food from them also. And not to mention the other fast food places. Every one of them is a money biter, a money eater. Money, 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 money. I have to make sure every damn dime's accounted for so I can keep it and hopefully hold on to it until next month. Add it into whatever I can get for Social Security. Other than that, I'm surviving. I'm struggling. This summer has been a lot more tougher than I thought. I thought I was going to get through it, but I guess I wasn't. So now it's the struggle. And I'm not sticking a hand out there saying I need help. Manpower would be nice. Manpower would be nice for a short time. After that, forget it. Try to send a SOS to my friends one way or another, or in a slightly cryptic way. And it's like when you're out the other ear. Some of them can actually go out there and have fun. The rest of the time, I'm not having any fun. I'm having misery. But that's the way it's going right now, as it is. I've been struggling like crazy ever since David died. I've been trying to deal with the excess stuff I've got in here that COVID stuck me with. And I've also been trying to deal with the stuff I've been dealing with since David died that has just got me locked somehow. I still have to deal with the bills. I still have to deal with rent. I have to deal with life. It's not that simple. It hasn't been that easy in a hell of a long while. I've been dealing with my failing health. I've noticed that there are certain things happening to me that are shutting down or telling me they're going to be shutting me down left and right. I haven't seen a doctor yet. I trust those damn action quacks for anything, but I still got to anyway. Wait for long hours, actually wait for long days for an appointment to see a quack. I'm in trouble now. Anyway, I'll probably have to go to constantly urgent care and just get myself checked out for something. So what the hell? Unless I haven't got a major issue that won't touch me anyway. That's Kaiser for you. Yeah, wonderful Kaiser. Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep my hopes up. I'm trying to keep the faith going. That doesn't mean I haven't turned my back to God. No, I've been talking to him. I've been talking to him. I just don't know if he's been listening or not. Or actually, if I've been listening to his responses. You know how cryptic he can be. But I've been busting my ass. It's the only thing I have been doing to myself is busting my ass. I don't know if God can deal with that one or not. I hope so. And maybe I haven't busted my ass enough. Maybe I should have been working my ass off to the time I'm dying or something. There had been a time before Ma passed away, before Dave passed away. If I ever get fired from a job, I'd bounce back and I'd get to it again. Unless, of course, there was a reason I couldn't. The last two jobs I had, they were telling me I was coming up to a point where I had to make tough decisions in my life. The last job damn near took my life. It took my faith in man and in anybody else and just threw it all away. I didn't trust anybody after that. And then the other job, I damn near got insane. Lost it because of it. Struggle with that as well. Sanity. That's another thing when you get yourself closed in, your sanity starts going. Yeah. I have other friends who live in distant areas. Unfortunately, none of them try to communicate as much. Some do on text or phone. As they're coming over here just to see if I'm still alive or not. It's a different story altogether, but at least I got neighbors over here keeping an ear and eye on me. Who says God doesn't keep track of his kids? Still, the struggle continues and the sleep demands. If I can get maybe a couple hours of sleep right now as it is, I'll be blessed. But I just wanted to get this on record, what was going on with me today. Start of a bad day or start of a good day is still a day. It's going to be hot as hell and I'm not going to be happy or cranky with myself. So at this point, you tell me what's going on. Have a good one, guys.